Welcome everyone to this episode of Never Alone Live. I'm Johnny, joined as always by Krista, the sober Barbie. And today we have our friend Brandon. Brandon from the Comeback series is on with us today. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you guys get me out of my comfort zone and get me on here. So I appreciate it. And these are the things that I need to continue doing. So appreciate you guys.
So Brandon is our friend from the Tiki Taki, and he was he met him a couple months ago, and Krista influenced him into doing some of his own things on the Tiki Taki, and it's just been brilliant, dude. I love you. I love all the things you're doing. Tell who's Brandon? Where are you from? How long you been clean?
Yeah, I'm from like Westchester, PA area, if you're familiar, Chester County. And I got sober March 8th, 2023. It took me a long time to get there, though. This wasn't like something that happened right away. Like this was 17 years of trying to figure this thing out and really, really trying those last like 8 or 9 years. So it's been a journey, but it's much better this way, and we're doing all right.
I want to hear your story, but before we do, I want to kind of find out what's the Comeback series.
Yeah, so the comeback series, this idea when I was trying to get sober, I'm looking into resources, tools, programs, people, and I was looking into like, dude, I was like Costa Rica ayahuasca trips. Let me trip myself out of addiction. Let me look up. I was looking up resources, and I couldn't find like anything that was like everything in one, like a recovery journal. So through my journey, going to treatments, therapies, addiction psychiatrists, like doing all these things, maintenance clinics, all these things, I kind of put all these resources into one place and built this out. So it started as this journal and then a daily pad as well. And eventually I started praying about, do I want to put myself personally out there? And I prayed about it, and I took a leap, and I put out that first video. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, should I delete this? Should I leave it up? And I just stuck with it. And then I put out another one, and I got to a point where I made a commitment, and I was like, I'm gonna put out videos, like 1, 2, 3, 4 videos every single day, and see what this is all about. And I just stuck with it, and eventually, like, I met you guys. I met a lot of great people on here, and it's the same thing that, like, I follow a 12-step program, so I'm in the rooms. I meet a lot of amazing people, and I started meeting those types of people online, like really, really good people that truly care about you and want to see people do well. And yeah, so I've been sticking with it. And recently I got into the lives. We can talk about that, but I haven't been too consistent, but I do jump on, and I really enjoy just seeing where other people are at, where they're from, and trying to be useful and help the next person as much as possible.
Dude, I love what you're doing. I love the videos you make. And Krista, hang on. Well, before I go to Krista, Tiffany's in the house. Tiffany is our friend who has been here since Krista and I've been doing this Never Alone Live for over a year, and Tiffany was our OG, and I'm so glad you're here, Tiffany. Krista, how much do you love Brandon's content?
I love it. I'm going to make a confession. When I first saw him, I stole some of his quotes and put them on my videos.
Keep doing it though. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm like, if it works, copy it, do it, like push it out.
The way everything's well put together and simple and to the point, and they hit every single post hits home, and he's like a class act when it comes to it. And I can relate a lot to that first post wanting to delete it. Like, I did delete it. super viral. I deleted it. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have a platform now. So let's try to share some hope, you know? And I love what you're doing. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm glad you jumped in and met all our crazy friends. And I enjoy sitting in your lives too. And you talk very well to people, and you give a lot of hope. So I'm excited. I love it, and I'm so happy we finally got you on here.
I mean, the key
I
is
appreciate
helping
it.
others, right? That's all we want to do. We want to help others, and we do it in any way, shape, or form that we can. And I see what you're doing, and I see all the things, and anybody, and we've put your TikTok in the comments. If anybody wants to follow Brandon, just go ahead and click on his TikTok, and by all means, follow him because I love the videos because you're very technologically sound and they just look cool.
Yeah.
And there was one video that you did, and you're standing right here, and you're kind of like this big, and then you're over here, and it was like there were different Brandons popping up. It was wild. I love.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved it. So what? So you have the TikTok. What else do you have? Do you have a website?
Yeah, the comebackseries.com. So that's where the journal's at, the daily pad. But most of my stuff is really on TikTok. That's kind of where like I started putting myself out there, and we'll see if I transition to other platforms. But yeah, the majority of it, all the lives, like all that stuff's on TikTok.
I think you should transition and do everything. You should go on Facebook and YouTube and all the stuff just because your message is strong and you need to get it out there. But that's just my 2 cents, and I'm just no dumb army guy, so don't listen to me. Where how did you get here? What happened? Let's get into that. Let's
Yeah,
story of your recovery, dude.
yeah. So let me try to think where to start. Yeah, so I'll just start like as a young kid. So I grew up. I'm the oldest of three brothers. One of my brothers is in the rooms as well. The other's not. Um, I always felt like I feel like as a young kid, and this is only my perspective looking back at this. The feelings of being restless, irritable, discontent, like I can see that in myself as a child before I even picked up the substance. Like I was getting in trouble as a young kid, pretty often. Like I was on this like 6 month cycle where I was like getting in trouble, causing all these issues for my parents, and like I could see it before I even started this journey. So I think it's important to recognize that. And my parents are not alcoholic. My grandfather died of alcoholism. My other grandfather died of suicide. So there's maybe something like running in the gene pool. Um, but I started picking up and using like as a young kid in my early teens, maybe 15, 16, as kind of like an experiment. Like it was like, all right, let me try this and try that. And I liked it, and that's where it all started. And I wasn't like full blown obsessed using every single day until later on, but that's kind of like where I got introduced to it. And yeah, I just continue down this path. And I do want to talk a little bit about higher power and God in my life today, because at this time I didn't have that. Uh, I didn't really have any faith, like any higher power my entire life. I actually had resentment. So when I was 16 and a half, my cousin, that was my best friend, he was only a month older than me. He passed away. And, I'm 16. I don't know how to accept this. And I had resentments towards God. Like, how could you do this? How could you take this person that was so close to me away from me? And I carried those resentments towards God and any faith my entire life. But I'll get to where that comes back. And then it's kind of the same routine. Like I start with this substance I'm using here and there. It gets to weekends into weekdays. And then eventually, like a lot of people ask, like, what was your DOC? And it transitioned over the years. Like I started with these things and got into more and got into things deeper. And eventually, like when I couldn't stop what I was using, I picked something else up. So I just slowly transitioned to one thing to the next. And, I feel like when you're at that stage, like early on when you're getting trapped in this, there's a lot of denial. And, I was in denial that like I am an alcoholic drug addict. Like I could not accept it. I'm like, how did I end up here? And I lived like that for a long time. Like I'm doing these things. I'm mentally, emotionally, physically dependent on these drugs, and I was still in denial. I could not accept where my life had led me, and yeah, that just goes on for years and years. And I got sober March 8th, 2023, so that's 3 years and 4 months, like around where I'm at right now. But probably nine or 10 years ago, I wanted to stop. I truly wanted to stop. And that's where I started getting these feelings of just being completely hopeless, because it wasn't like all the things that were going on in my life. It was when I made that decision that like enough was enough. And I wanted to do everything I possibly could to stop. And I could not stop. And I was stuck in a state of hopelessness. Like my life was over. I could not get out of this. Like, the whole thing, like people I was around, they didn't understand why you can't just stop. And until like later on, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I started getting around the right people that understood what I was dealing with. But yeah, this about like somebody said, go to this clinic and they're going to help you out. I went there and I probably took it for 2 days, and then I was selling it to get what I really wanted. And like any way I can get money to get what I really want. And eventually, like things start happening. My friends, like good friends around me, they start dying. And like my best friend Casper, his daughter's like 7 right now, and she's got to live her entire life. Like he passed away 5 years ago, and she's got to live her entire life. Like if you really think deeply about that, this poor girl has to live her entire life without a father. My buddy Bex, he expired in a bando in Kensington, and then my friend Alyssa, she hung herself in prison, going through withdrawals. Like all these things, like I could see people just losing it, and like I got these feelings like if I don't figure this out soon, like I'm gonna be next, or I'm gonna kill myself. Like I cannot go on. I could not live the life I was living. I didn't know how to live a better life, and dude, I was stuck, man. I had these feelings of just self-hatred, man. Every time I went through, like walked past a mirror, I hated who I saw. I hated who I became. And I was just slowly beating at my ego and tearing myself down. And I felt completely trapped. Do you want me to keep rocking?
Dude,
Because I'll get into like the turning point, and then we can pause and then talk about it.
No, Brandon, I'm telling you, man, your story is I mean, it's stupid. Your story is awesome. No, but you're passionate about your recovery, and if we want to give hope, we have to, give our story that people can relate to, and you're such a relatable dude, and so many of the things that you're saying, I know I can relate to, and I know Krista's story, I know she can relate to, the experimentation, the need to utilize these things as solutions, so go ahead, brother, keep going.
Yeah, so I'll fast forward. I mean, this was like Groundhog's Day. I'm doing the same thing. I'm waking up in withdrawal every single day. And the first thing that I'm getting is what I need every single day throughout the day. And then I start getting to this point where I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get less. And then like, I'll only use this amount. And then I'm going back to get more throughout the day. Like every single thing I did to try to limit myself or back myself off, uh, like I was trying this stuff. I thought I got myself into this. I'm going to get myself out. I'm going to figure this out by myself. Like that was my mindset. And a sick mind can't heal itself. And I realize that now. I could not figure this out uh, in the state of mind that I was in. And like I'm getting to the point where like I'm getting psychosis and like I'm hearing and thinking people are doing things that it's just not happening. I'm constantly looking out my windows, like thinking people are coming over or like somebody's watching me. Um, and it was just a terrible life I was living. And I could fast forward to like what really changed me and like what happened. But um, yeah, so in 2022, I was coming back from picking up and I was in this accident. Um, I was on a motorcycle and I shattered my tibial plateau, like my entire knee, everything completely shattered. And like the first thing I'm thinking is like, I know I'm like completely fucked right now. And the first thing I'm thinking is like, once I get to this hospital, they're going to treat me like a normal patient. And I was so scared because exactly what I thought happened in there. I go in, I have a tibial plateau fracture, like it's like the highest, it's like a tier 5, which is like absolutely terrible. And I go in there and like they hit me with Dilaudid. It doesn't do anything. I'm like, what? Like this is exactly what I expected. Um, the morphine, all these things. They hit me with fentanyl IVs. Like I cannot, I cannot escape this pain. And I'm going into withdrawal because this is just, it's not enough to do anything in the situation that I'm in. And so I went to this local hospital and they drilled, I don't know if you've ever heard of an external fixation device. So they drill rods. So they drilled 2 rods into my shin, 2 rods into my femur, and then there's piping on the outside to basically like keep your entire leg completely straight. And I forgot to mention this. I just want to bring this. Man, I missed the whole piece.
You're good. You're good.
I told you my brother's in the rooms, right?
Yeah.
He was struggling on the outside as well. And I do want to bring this up because he's a big part in me doing what I'm doing today. And he was doing all the same stuff I was doing. And he called me one day and he was ready to like drive off a bridge. Like he was in bad shape and I got him into treatment. Like I called my buddy that had gotten clean before. And so he's away. He's getting better. He's in sober living out in Levittown. And so I don't see him and talk to him. I'm still rotting away doing my thing. And he gets better. And like I didn't want to skip this because this was the first glimpse of real hope that I saw, because I knew where he was. He was in the same place as me. He was doing the same things. And he transformed over a year and a half. We kept our distance, like attraction, not promotion. He wasn't there to push me to get sober, but he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And it attracted me. I saw a change in him. And so he starts getting better and he's doing really well. Like I'm telling you, when I look at this guy, I couldn't even recognize who he was. Like that's how much of a change in a year and a half, completely different person. And he told me these things that he was doing, like he was working with his sponsor and he was going through these steps. And at this point I wasn't really willing to hear it, but I'll go back to this accident. And then what happened. But that was my first glimpse of real change, like seeing where somebody was. And that's why I say, like, when I talk to people on lives, I've seen miracles and I've seen people change. And a lot of us are told you'll always be an addict. You'll always be this piece of shit. Like, you'll always be the same person you always were. And it's just not the case. I've seen people change and I've seen people transform. And I believe anybody can do it. And I think there's hope out there for every single person if you're willing. The timing needs to be there and you need to be willing. But we'll go back to that accident because I wasn't willing. I was beaten down. I was in a wheelchair. I got transferred to Penn Presbyterian in Center City, Philadelphia, because I needed a specialist. So I was doing that. And like I said, the medication that they were giving me wasn't touching me, like, because I was on opiates for almost 10 years leading up to this. And so I'm like, my idea is like, let me get a secret guest visitor, bring me in all the stuff I need. So, I'm like getting the fentanyl drip and this, and then I'm getting my own supply and I'm in there. And dude, I want to die. Like, I want to die where I was. I don't know how this platform is like about certain things, but dude, I was like extremely suicidal at this point. And I get the external fixation. They drill these rods out. They put 7 screws in a plate in my leg, put me in a wheelchair. And now I look at myself, dude, and I'm a immobile drug addict in a wheelchair. What the fuck? Like, how did I get here? And dude, it was a journey from there. So I couldn't give up what I was using, because I had home health come because I had to learn how to walk again. So the first thing that they do is when your legs drilled straight in an external fixation device, they have to crack through the scar tissue just a tiny bit at a time. Like, you're getting a couple degrees until you get that full range of motion. And like when I was in the hospital, when I went into my second surgery, they're telling me they might have to amputate my leg, and I have to sign this off. Like, I have to sign approval. If it's going to save my life, they're going to take my leg. And like, I'm going into the surgery. I don't know if I'm going to wake up and like have a leg at this point. Like, and yeah, it was just an emotional roller coaster, like going through that whole process. And so I was in a wheelchair. Eventually I get to a place where I can use a walker, and then I'm on 2 crutches, and then I'm on 1 crutch, and then I'm on a cane for a little while. And like, this is like 9 months. And once I was able to crutch, I thought I could just go into like an IOP. And I was like, IOPs, like, I'm doing the right thing. This is going to change me. I'm going to be able to stop. And dude, I showed up to that IOP. I was high every single session, and I could not stop. Like, I was picking things up. I was talking through it. I was learning things, and I was getting a glimpse of other people in recovery that were sober in there. But I could not stop, man. And I remember I went through a period of like, I asked some people around me to like lock me in a room to detox, like to do a cold turkey detox, and it was like the worst thing I've ever been through. But it didn't last. Like, maybe I got a couple days of just miserable time, dude. Like, I'm sure a lot of people know what it's like. But yeah, so I was doing that, trying to figure this thing. The point I'm getting across is like, I was still making the choices, right? Like, I was like, I will go to IOP. I will do this. Like, it wasn't about surrender at this point, and it kept me sick. So I go through all this, and dude, I cannot stop for my life. Like, I want to stop so bad. And I'm in that IOP. I think I stopped IOP, and I went into the rooms, and like I met a couple people, and then I called this dude. I don't want to drop any like names, but this local addiction therapist. He sponsors like one of the dudes from Jackass that people might know. But I called this dude, and he helped my other buddy, and I think he was like he was out in Chicago for a while too. But this guy, and he gave me the playbook. He said these are the things you need to do if you want to save your life. These are the things that you have to do. And dude, I was willing to do anything. Like if you told me to stare at a doorknob for 24 hours a day, like I will do anything, dude. I hated myself, and I did not know how to escape this, man. I tried every single thing I possibly could. And I went to this treatment facility out in New Jersey. And like I wanted this, man. Like I was willing, and I forgot. So I had a sponsor prior to this guy, they call him Flip Flops, but he dude, I called him every day. He said once you get 72 hours and write your entire story, we'll start the steps. Like we'll start doing this thing. And I called him crying every day, man. I could not stop. I never got to do anything with him because I couldn't go a day. Like there's no way I was going to get 72 hours. Like it was impossible. There's no way. So he was like the first person that really like wrapped me up and showed me just real support from the rooms, you know? And he said, I talked to this other guy I was talking about, and then I was talking to Flip Flops, and they're like, go in there and stay as long as you can. Like stay, like, cause you know what it's like, man. Like you want to hop the fence, AMA, like I want to get out of here. Like I got better things to do. Like I think everyone goes through that, but it's like, dude, that text that he sent me, it kept me there. And like I did sign AMA papers. I did try to leave, but I stayed. And that guy, the addiction therapist that I was talking to, this dude, he sponsors a lot of dudes around here. And he said, when you get out, do this, 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 and this. And thank God I was still willing, because I was so beaten down. Like my buddies that were, dude, I was jealous of my buddy would call me from prison, and I'd be like, dude, I'm jealous. Like you are locked away. Like you're not dealing with the shit that I'm going through right now on the street. Like, dude, like it's crazy that you can think that way. But like I was out here, and dude, it was over for me. And dude, I got out, and that the guy that told me the steps, he connected me with an awesome sponsor. This dude runs through the steps super fast. We got through our steps in like 5 or 6 months, like full steam ahead. I took 90 days. The only thing that I focused on, I made recovery the number one thing in my life. And I did this. I did the thing. I was fully committed. And it's not easy, man. It's not easy to be willing to do things that you don't want to do, the things that are uncomfortable. But all these things that we fear are the things, if we push ourselves forward through it, like you will change as a person. And the more you do this, the more you change, the less appealing that substance looks. And that's how people get away from this, because they change everything about themselves. And that's what I did, man. I changed everything. Like I operate very, very different than I used to. And
dude, this is so awesome. Your story is such, I mean, we talk about powerlessness a lot. We talk about the gift of desperation a lot. We talk about willingness a lot. And your story is, you've just defined all of that, brother. And it's so, and we see a lot of people relapse. right? We see a lot of people relapse. We see a lot of people that think they have that gift of desperation. I've sponsored guys where it's like, okay, what are you willing to do to get recovery? And they say anything, except, I don't need to turn all of my will over, except I'm gonna hang on to these couple character defects. I'm telling you, when I got sober, if they told me, hey, you need to go jump off that building to get sober, I just said, okay, I'm doing that, because that was what I had to, and your story, with your leg, with the inability to get high in the hospital with the drugs they were pushing you on, dude, that the tolerance that you had from it, that's wild. And yet we're still wanted more. And I think your story is so powerful for those that are still in addiction. That's what I hope that people hear this. I hope people that are in addiction hear your story and they're like, damn, I was there, and maybe I can do what he's doing. Krista, what are you thinking?
I can relate so much with the, like, look at, if someone told me to look at the doorknob for for a whole day, I would. When I went into rehab, they said, if you do everything we say, you'll never be back here. And I'm 22 days away from 11 years, so it works. It works, And it just, taking the suggestions, it's a ripple effect, because those people obviously did the suggestions that were offered to them, and they're just passing it on. And it's proof it works when you kind of follow the lead. And I can relate a lot too with how your brother, with the attraction, because I couldn't save my husband. I tried to recover for him. I tried to be his recovery. I tried everything. And then it came to a point where I just stayed in my lane and just shined bright in my recovery and my faith. And then he wanted what I had, and he just hopped on board, and now we're rocking and rolling. But while your story is, it's wild. You should write a book. I bet you're in the making of that.
Not yet, but we'll see.
So,
maybe
I
down the road.
Brandon, I want to get into the solution. I want to get into what helped you the most. We're all 12 steppers here, and there's a lot of 12 steppers. And if you aren't working the 12 steps, then this is what the 12 steps does. It's spiritual experiences that inevitably lead to a spiritual awakening. There's a lot of spirituality to this. I want to hear how you found your spirituality.
Yeah, that was a journey. And I like to be relatable, because like what people are dealing with when they're like thinking about getting sober or thinking about committing to doing something like this, I want you to know, like, I didn't like the G word. I wasn't gonna sit down and read a book. Like, I'm not doing these things. These things won't work for me. All these things I pushed away. And eventually, I think the key is to commit to it without like knowing what's going to happen. Like when my sponsor started working with me, I didn't understand sponsorship. Like this guy has, he runs his own businesses. He's got 4 kids. He's got a wife, but he's willing to sit with me on a park bench at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning and read this book. And I did not understand what I was doing for him as much as he was helping me. I was like, why does this guy care about me? He doesn't even know me or where I came from. And like, it's okay to not understand how this thing works as long as you're putting that next step forward. And a lot of the times, like, I see people come around and like they expect these amends and they expect these things to come back. And I say it all the time, we have to be patient. Like, it's not on our time. Like, if things don't go the way that we want them to go, we need to accept that and have faith that this will work out with timing that is uncontrolled by us, and it, like, that's how I started my faith. You know, like it was, he said, you know, do you believe I believe in a higher power that helped me get to where I'm at today? And I was like, sure, whatever. And then he's like, this is how it started for me, right? Like I had no faith, man. I did not have higher power. I did not have any of these things. And but I was still willing, dude. That's the key. I was willing to pray. Like, and he's like, just pray like it's your boy. So like I'm not doing like crazy prayers. Like I'm talking about me and my life, and I'm talking to God or my higher power. Early on, like I used like this universal higher power, like this, it's the universe, right? And like I just went with it, man. And it's like anything else in life. You want to get better at something, you put in the reps and you do it. And I was willing to do that. And you know, I got on my knees, I prayed about it. I didn't know how to live, man. Direct my thinking, remove my shortcomings, my character defects, show me how to live, show me how to be useful. And I was praying like this day and night, over and over. And slowly I start seeing things come to light. Like, you know, they say like this spiritual experience. I don't, it's not like this unicorn flashes down and like, all like, it's a change in you as a person. Like when your perspective and your mindset changes, like that was a spiritual experience for me. Like where I'm not completely obsessed with using drugs and putting all this poison into my body every single day. Like I never thought that could happen to me, you know. And I'm going through this, and I told this to a group like the other day, and this was kind of recent, a couple months ago. This is just one instance. I have a journal with like crazy experience, spiritual experience, like stuff that happened to me, and I like wrote a bunch of stuff down. I got to find it, but the like I'm 3 years into this, man, and I was in my car. I was driving and I was praying, and I was like, show me, show me I'm on the right path. Like show me I'm doing the right thing. Like guide me, show me a sign, something. And like I'm listening to my playlist in the car, and this random song pops on my radio, and it's called Personal Jesus. And I'm like, what is this? I've never heard this song in my life. Like,
What?
how the hell is, like, dude, crazy stuff. Like I have a whole list. But yeah, man, I have faith that I've never had before, and it allows me to live a peaceful, like a somewhat peaceful life. You know, like if you're anything like me, like the chaos and adrenaline, like it's so hard to just like sit still in my own mind. Like it centers in the mind, and that's why I say, like, if you can control your mind, you can control your life. Like these thoughts, like, because I still get intrusive thoughts, I still get these thoughts that come up, and if I pray on it or I talk to somebody else about it, like I can get past it. But um yeah, if people are struggling with faith, like just keep going and take that next step forward and put in the reps, and eventually it will play out.
You know, and I think when I came in, I'm just like you. Our stories parallel so much, because I did not want that God thing. And my first sponsor said, if you want what we have, we pray. And he said, we ask for help in the morning, we say thanks at night. So I started praying. I didn't know what I was praying to or what I was doing, but I said help in the morning. And I said thanks at night. And just like that, spiteful prayers. And man, that faith of a mustard seed, right? They talk about it. They talk about the faith of a mustard seed and how it blossoms. And all we got to do is, and that gift of desperation is what allows me to have that open mind to the possibility of faith. And when it blossoms, it's so beautiful, but it doesn't come. The book talks about there's two ways of having a spiritual experience: the blinding light way, and then there is the educational variety. I am of the educational variety. It took me some time and some Depeche Mode, but eventually I found my personal Jesus. Krista, she's of the blinding light variety.
Yeah, I had some burning bush moments early in recovery and right before. Um, like in the 12 steps. When you do, after you do your 4th step, you do the 5th step, and they do an hour with God. And I did that same thing. I came out and after that hour, and I said, just give me a sign I'm on the right path. And the slowest moving falling star just right in front of me. I still have never seen anything like it in my life, like again. And I'm like, all right, here I am. And I thrive off signs, like thrive off them. And I see them because I look for them. But I love this conversation about faith and how honest you are about like how you didn't have any. And it is a mustard seed, and that mustard seed grows. And this is great suggestions for people who might be in this feeling of not knowing, like maybe blaming God for how their life is, or and it's more proof that we're part of his plan, and we're here to help each other, help the next man that's going through it. This is good stuff.
100%. And real quick, just the relief of living an honest life, it just puts you at a peace like no other. Like when you're lying, cheating, manipulating, doing all these things, and then you transition to a life where, like, I always say, like, if I'm around people, places, or doing things that I can't tell everyone in my life, I probably shouldn't be doing it, right? So, like, I have to live a brutally honest life, and there's a lot of peace that you get from just doing the next right thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, you got this damn song stuck in my head so bad. Personal Jesus is going to be with you the rest of the week. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. And so let's talk about life now. I want we talk about the good, we talk about the ugly, right? We talk about the bad, we talk about what it was, but the real story is what's life like now?
Um, Dude, I get to do a lot of incredible things. Like, through the program that I work, I'm able to, go speak at rehabs. I'm part of Bridging the Gap, so we help people transition from prisons and rehabs, get them connected with the right people. I get to be useful for the first time in my life to other people. When you're taking and serving yourself, and you finally get on the other side of that, and you can be useful. I think that's like the biggest reward out of this, is being able to show up for the people. And I'm not perfect, dude. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy that's trying to get another day sober. That's it. I'm no different than anybody else, but I do get these opportunities to take commitments, show up, be there for friends and family. If people need somebody to show up for them, they call me. They know I'll be there. And yeah, that's the biggest blessing, is being useful to other people, and just sharing this message with others. And like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, you could dude, you could have like problems with somebody your whole life, and maybe they say, like, you're an addict, you're this piece of shit, and then they go years later, they go through the same struggle, and you're sitting there waiting to put your hand out to give them and pull them up. Like, all these things can happen. And yeah, man, I don't sit on resentments. Like, I try to I'm sure you, like, go through your 10th step thing, and I struggle with that too. Like, my daily inventory, these things that keep me well. Like, I need to be a little bit more consistent, and maybe jumping on this call is a reminder that I need to get back to the basics and start doing these things, and making sure that I'm not out of character, because I can get that way. I can start acting a way that I'm not proud of. But if I keep up with my program and I keep up with these things, I'm all right, and like, I'm doing the best I can. And I think people need to realize that too. Like, when you first get sober, you think like everything's gonna be perfect, like you deserve everything because you got sober, and it's just not the case. Like, we do the best we can. We can struggle in sobriety, and I learned the biggest thing that I didn't realize could save my life was learning how to get honest and pick up the phone and call people. I want people to know this, because it will save you when you're internalizing and sitting on these thoughts, or like these intrusive thoughts are like telling you to burn it down and go back to that life, if you pick up the phone, if you call one dude and he doesn't give you what you need, you call the next guy, and eventually you're going to hear what you need to hear. But I keep things inside. Like, it was hard for me to open that up, and the muscle memory of calling somebody else and talking, like, you got to do it on good days and bad days. Because when you do it on good days and bad days, you have that muscle memory of picking up the phone and getting honest and talking to somebody else. So when that real bad day comes, you already know what to do. It's like training these things. So that's why, like, these are all the tools and resources that we can put into place. Like, usually when I call my sponsor and I think I'm like talking some crazy shit, the first thing he says is, who were you useful to? Who did you help today? And most of the time he's right. Maybe I didn't put myself in a position to be useful to somebody else. And when I do that, I feel a little bit better. So you got to rely on these people with wisdom. And a lot of the times, like, you can find that wisdom from people in active addiction. Like, when you're in addiction, there was a lot of things that were told to me from like some old timers in addiction. And then the same thing in the rooms. Like, I remember when I was young, this older dude I was with, he said, you're either on or you're off. And I didn't understand. I was like, there's no way. But I do now. Like, once that switch flipped, I was on, and I was trapped, man. There was nothing getting me off. And the same thing in the rooms. Like, if you're sober, listen to these guys, like, these simple sayings, one day at a time, keep it simple. Like, these simple sentences, there's a lot of recovery, and there's a lot of wisdom, and there's a lot of time, there's a lot of experience backing these simple sentences. So pay attention and learn from people. Learn from the guy that's walking in with 2 days. Learn from the guy with 2 years, with 20 years, and learn from everyone, and just be open-minded to take it in from every single person's journey. Everyone lives a unique life and has been through different experiences. And that's what, when I go on live, I've lived my life, I've lived my experience, but there's other people in chat that can relate. So you just got to connect with people that have been down that path and have different experiences, and rely on people. But yeah, man, for me, like, I was able to be the best man in my little brother's wedding. I'm able to raise my daughter. Like, I'm able to show up as a father. And dude, I have true freedom. Like, this stuff controlled me for so long, like, to the point where, like, people are going on trips. I can't leave my area because, and I've flown on planes with stuff in the past, but I mean, it's probably not great, and eventually it might catch up. But I was restricted to this small circle, this small area, and man, like, for like 10 or 12 years, I saw people getting married and starting families, and getting all these things in their life, and like, I was just stuck in the same spot doing the same thing, and I was watching all these people change around me. And we were talking about this before, but I've going on lives, I realized that like, it's not just me, it's not just my area, it's not the people I'm around. When I go on lives and I see people join from Australia, Finland, Poland, all over the United States, I see the impact of addiction and how it tears apart families, and it just ruins lives across the entire globe. And man, I see people jump in there, and they've lost husbands, wives, children, and it's just it really gave me a new perspective. Rather than, I had my home group last night. I'm connected with local people, but getting online, you get a new perspective of all of the people that are impacted, all the people that can relate. When people comment on my videos and they can relate, or they jump on like, somebody jumped on a live and they were in their car picking up, and somehow my face pops up and they start talking, and they stayed sober that day. Like, you don't understand the impact until you just jump in and do it. And Krista pushed me to jump on live. So I don't do them consistently, but when I jump on, I really enjoy seeing people's sober time, hearing from people that are struggling that I can try to help, and just relating with people that maybe they don't have that relationship in their life. And sometimes a stranger can relate to you more than your own friends and family that you're surrounded with. So yeah, it's been a journey and it's been cool.
I tell everybody that Krista's a bad influence. They don't listen to me. And so now this brings up kind of my last question. And what does it mean for you being in the public now and recovering out loud? I know we've kind of alluded to it in the conversation, but for that specific job, recover out loud, what does it mean?
Yeah, dude, I was kind of against it just because of the influence around me, like people, and I don't mention my program. I don't really mention too many details about that. So like, I think I'm doing the right thing there, but I do a 12-step program, and I I don't know if we talked about this earlier, but I prayed on this, and I wasn't, dude. I like, there's people that have a couple days, a couple weeks sober, and they're like out here on TikTok doing their thing, and that's fine. I think there's a place for that, and I like to see that as well. But dude, before 2.5, 3 years, like I was still trying to learn to live again. Like I had to be patient, and I had to, and when the time was right, I prayed on it, and eventually I put out that first post, like we were talking about, and it's been cool. I see the impact. And that's why I appreciate when people message me or just let me know that their video helped out or they needed to see it. Like a lot of people see it, like somehow they see a video and it helps them out for that moment. That's all I can do. But yeah, it wasn't easy for me, and I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have met my boy Sober Hats, my man that I get to see in person. I see him down at Redemption Treatment Center down in Delaware, and yeah, it's cool. I see more and more people doing it, and there's a big stigma around addiction. Like people look at addicts differently than people with other mental health disorders, and I think the more people that are willing to open up and spread their message and show that like they're a different person, they can see that people can change, and I'm hoping it can change the stigma around addiction and make people more comfortable to open up about it and talk about it, because it's a domino theory. Like you guys opened up and I saw what you were doing, and then I gave it a shot, and somebody else saw my video and maybe they started posting some videos, and that's how the message gets out. Somebody starts it, and it's the same thing with getting sober, right? Like that's why we help the next person. Somebody helped us and got us on our feet, and we help the next person. And the more people that do that, it's going to have a bigger impact.
Our guy, Kyle, who is Sober Turkey Buried, we've interviewed him before, and he's our good friend. He started a brand called Normalized Sobriety. It's actually the hat I'm wearing today, Normalized Sobriety. And, that's what we're all trying to do, right? End the stigma, get rid of the stigma about addiction, about alcoholism, about recovery, about God, about all of it, and just showing that there's miracles out there. And Brandon, my brother, you are a miracle, man, and I'm so glad that I remember when it was a morning live, and I get on there and I got one eye open and half a cup of coffee in me, and Chris is like, and she flicked her hair back like that, and she says, I met this guy Brandon and the Comeback series, and his videos are so good, and you're gonna love it. And then you came in that morning, and she says, oh my God, Brandon, you're here.
Meet my crazy friends.
Well, dude, I didn't even know lives was a thing. I thought people just go on TikTok and post videos. I didn't even know lives were a thing. And then Krista was like, join this. And then I started seeing like how it worked. And then I was like looking at the box rooms and the solo rooms, and she was like, do a live. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, what am I going to say? Like, I'm just going to sit there and like stare at the screen awkward. And then she was like, put up a board, like prompt something. And I tried it, and it's uncomfortable. Like it was weird, but the more it's the same thing with everything else, man. The more you do it, the more you become comfortable with it, and the better you get. And I still suck, but I'm still figuring it out. And
no, it's good. One of my favorite things
doing what
you
I can.
say. One of my favorite things you say is, "I'm just a guy. I'm just a normal guy," and I love
all the time, all the time.
I'm just a normal guy.
Because like, yeah, I'm just a guy, right? Like, I don't want people to like think like I have a couple years of sobriety, like I'm better than this person that's struggling, or this person with a couple weeks or months. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm the same as you. I came from the same spot. We are the same. Like, there's nothing I'm doing that you can't do too. And yeah, I see people come in, like I say, like people relapse, and I'm like, don't let the shame, the guilt, the regret, like don't let it keep you sick. Just come right back, like get right back at it. And yeah, I'm just a normal guy. That's it. Like, I'm nothing special, and I want to welcome people to ask questions and just be useful and help somebody figure out their path.
You're good at it. And you know, we have enough of like bad influences in this world. We're in a fallen world. There's a lot of bad influences, music, TV, social media. We're out here influencing life and sobriety and good choices. I mean, we gotta, and we're better in numbers for sure. So I'm grateful we all met and connected, and yeah.
100%.
Dude, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing with us today and being open and vulnerable, you know, and I truly hope that some people get some stuff out of this, you know, especially your honesty. You know, you are an honest person, and I love that about you. And you know, so thank you again for coming and being with us. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and go follow the Comeback Series on the TikTok. Go to comebackseries.com and read his journal. And dude, this is amazing. So thank you. We'll see everyone next week.
Yes, thank you. Y'all have a great day.